I was talking to my dad because I just had this horrible thought rereading part of my book that it was all terrible. Like the whole book was terrible. We talked about it. He was telling me some of his thoughts on how books or stories tend to go, which I agreed with. And then the next day, I went back to read it, and turns out I was reading it when I was extremely tired, and it was fine. Welcome back to week 22 of Let's Make a Book Baby, where I am taking you all the way from the very beginning of writing my book until I actually publish it. Just as one exciting update, you might have heard me say last week that I am going to do an official title reveal, and then we'll do official cover reveal. But if you would like to know the title early, especially if you are someone who is on Book Talk or Bookstagram and you would like something to post, we can all post this at the same time because I'm going to do a title reveal on May 2nd. So I'm super excited about that. I finished the typography for it. I might tweak it a little bit before you see it, but I feel pretty settled on this title now and excited about it. So we're gonna do that. And if you would like to get involved, then definitely just email me here. This is my author email. This is just for business inquiries only, so that is that. You can also, if you want to see the news early, subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be telling you here. I might even tell you a couple days early, so that will be exciting. This week, I feel like I've made a lot of progress, and I'm suddenly starting to see my book as a book. But earlier last week, I did not see it as a book. I was having this feeling that I don't know how else to describe other than I just keep looking at it and being like, is this a book? Which doesn't make sense because it is words on a page. I have written and published 7 graphic novels and regular novels now, so I know what a book looks like, but for some reason, whenever I keep looking at my manuscript right now, it's just giving me some type of, what is that called? There's some type of, disconnect between how I feel about the book and, my weirdly vague concept of what a book is. And I don't know why I got so existential about it, but apparently that led me to suddenly think that my whole book was terrible. But really, what happened was I just started writing without thinking, just sitting down and writing. And sometimes when that happens, first of all, that's a great sign. Because that means I am inspired. So when I decided the previous week to just take a giant chunk out of the book and just rewrite that portion, that was a good move. But now I am kind of stuck in the zone of reorganizing. But I did make a lot of progress with that this past week. It's just that then, as I am in that flow and just getting really excited and just writing without thinking about it, I forget what I have just written because I'm living in the moment. And when you're living in the moment, sometimes you don't capture every single little detail. So the next day when I come back to write after I've rested and I finally have energy to write again, I was still inspired, but I had done already too much that day. I also accidentally had a blood sugar crash. I don't know, sometimes that happens to me because I have Crohn's disease and I have to keep up every single meal very religiously or else I'm lose nutrients. So that makes it hard to think. So I had that happen and decided, oh, this is a great time to review my book and maybe write some of it. It was not. It was not a good time to do that. I looked at it and I just happened to read the one portion of that whole section that I was like, this kind of needed to be rewritten. The sentence just needed to be rewritten, which is very normal for your very first draft of any sentence or paragraph or entire book. But I got too much in my head and judgmental about that and was like, oh my God, what if the whole book is just bad? What if the whole thing is so bad? And it wasn't even oh, it's just this sentence or something. It's for some reason, that whole little section that I happened to read first was a part that needed more revision in what I had written that I just didn't remember because I was in flow state and just writing without thinking too hard. So I was feeling terrible about it. So much so that I was like, oh my God, I thought that I was getting somewhere. I was so excited, feeling all this excitement. excitement about it. And then I like went to tell my dad about it, and he was like, I'm sure that you'll like find a workaround with this, and like maybe you do just want to rewrite that part if that's something you're not feeling, because that's kind of what I was saying to him. But nope, the next day I went to look at it again. It was like earlier in the day, and I was like reading from the beginning of the section that I had written. I was like, oh, this beginning part is fine. Like maybe I just need to rewrite that whole like second half of what I had written and was excited about. So I just kept reading and adjusting things here and there, and then I got back to that part and was like, it was literally that one sentence. just I just keep feeling like get so into my head all of a sudden with just being like, am I writing this? Like, is this actual writing? Like, and this must be OCD overtaking my brain, because it's just like super analytical and trying to answer these questions that don't need to be answered. Like, this is just the age-old question of what is art? Like, no one can answer it. Except like most of the time it does land on that it is human, so just gonna say that. But yeah, that was a lot. And then on top of like a lot of things happening globally, speaking of human-made art, I think it's easy to get into the ebb and flow of like the industry going wild. And like I can talk about this next week a little bit more, but just today where I'm filming this video, there's like more publishing news that is not that great. And you just kind of have to keep going regardless of things that happen like that. And that can be kind of tough when you are your own boss and you don't have like a solid deadline that you're like using as motivation. But speaking of that, I do feel like with this book, I did kind of get like a recharge of energy after I went back and looked at that and was like, oh, this is actually fine. I've still been writing a lot, and I still feel like I can see the end of this first draft in sight. So I was going to start handing off part of the book to my editor, my friend Kayla. We became really good friends through editing together. Like, we knew each other previously, but that's where we like really got connected, and now we like see each other all the time because she's living nearby, which is very exciting. So I was gonna give that first chunk to her because I have already kind of edited that myself, and I think that it would be nice as I'm finishing the book to know like, okay, she's helping me work on this, and if I have all of my personal deadlines that I'm not gonna share yet, if I have all those kind of getting set up, that it's not as much of a daunting task that's like hanging over my head of like, oh god, I better hurry and completely finish the first draft before we start editing. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think that I'll just start with like chunks that I have edited first, and then we can keep reading. But my goal right now is to finish writing by the end of April. So as of filming this video, I have 15 days left, and I do think that that is very achievable. It's just that I keep going back and I'm trying to puzzle some of these pieces back together that I had taken out, because I did take out that middle portion, and now I'm kind of feeling like, I really like some of these pieces. Either I can use some of these concepts and rewrite it into the book, or I can just like take little chunks of the pieces that I like and incorporate it into a new scene. So that's what I'm puzzling together right now, and so I'll tell you about how that goes this week. So that is my update for this week. I'm going to keep it a little bit shorter so that I can get back to relaxing so that I can write. I just have to really recharge my energy right now because I'm feeling like a lot more chronic fatigue from my chronic illnesses. So it's been kind of rough trying to fit all this stuff in at the same time. But thank you for being here, and I will see you next time. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye.